Okay, let's see what happens next. Okay, so he's trotting. I'd sure like to see him frame her up right there. All right, so he's going to stop and turn. Okay, so what he's doing right here in my rollback and spin video, this rider has watched my rollback and spin video, and in that rollback and spin video, I talk about you can really improve the spin by trotting and turning either quarter turns or half turns, 90 degrees or 180 degrees. And, you know, by turning and driving from forward motion, you can really fix a horse's spin and get a good spin on a horse. Now, he has misunderstood what I said in that video, and he's stopping his horse before he turns, which is basically canceling out the benefits of this exercise. And on this stop, I want you to pay attention to the way he's stopping this horse. Now, he's got her stopping, fairly light, but the way he's stopping her could be improved. We see his leg kind of stiffening out and throwing forward into her shoulder. And he's stopping her by moving his hands down. He's stiffening up his arms and moving his hands down, and his lower back is arched instead of rounded. Ideally, anytime we're going to do hindquarter work, whether it's stopping our horse, rolling our horse back, or spinning, the rider should be sitting on the cheeks of his butt, lower back slightly rounded, hands on. When he's stopping this horse, his hands should be about the same height as his belt loops, and he should bring his elbows and arms back to ask for that stop. That would get that horse flexing at the pole better and get her bending her back better. Okay? So let's go on here. That turn was halfway decent. Okay, again, the way he's stopping this horse, you see his butt is out behind him on this stop. Legs are thrown forward into that horse's shoulder. And right here, to stop this horse correctly, his hands should go straight back. His elbows should go straight back, this direction right here. And that would put him on the cheeks of his butt, and it also put his horse on her hocks. Okay, let's go on with this. Turn was okay. But what needs to be happening here, he's stopping and turning. He should be making those turns from forward motion. He should be trotting and doing a quarter turn, trot, quarter turn, trot, quarter turn. And that horse should want to, if he's turning to the left here, that horse's body after that turn should be driven to the left, kind of like side passing to the left as he's driving forward. Okay, that'll teach you when to use that pivot foot and crossover in the front end. Really good. Okay, so he's going to stop her a little bit more. Okay, he kind of fell forward when he stopped her right there. Because this is important. Let's do this over again. Okay, trot. Okay, right there. So on this stop, he needed his butt. He's kind of falling forward in that stop. His butt should be underneath him. He should be sitting on the cheeks of his butt. Rotating his hips underneath him, sitting on his jean pockets. Shoulders should be directly over the hips. Right here, his shoulders are ahead of his hips. And again, his elbows should be coming back. He should be bringing his elbows back and stopping that horse to, flex her at the pole, put her on her hocks. Okay. So he's coming back into the spin. She's losing herself right there, kicking her butt out. Kicking her butt out again. Really kicked it out that time. So instead of staying in that spin, the very first time she kicked her butt out, he should have drove forward out of that spin into a small circle to the left. And he should be using his right leg when he leaves that spin. He should really be driving strong with his outside leg, which is his right leg. Right there. Okay, okay, there's a biggie. So now he's leaving the spin, which is good. But when he left the spin, he's spinning to the left, and when he left the spin, he let that mare's body bow out to the right, away from the direction of the spin, which is a big no-no. He didn't really teach her anything there. When he left that spin, he should be using this outside leg and move her to the left, the same direction he was spinning. Matter of fact, it's almost like a side pass. He should have, when he left the spin, he should have drove forward and kind of side passed her to the left. All right? That's going to teach her to use the correct pivot foot and keep her body in position. So let's see what happens here. Okay, good. So now he's got her in frame. When he left that spin, I would have liked to seen him get her in frame right away. And halfway around the arena, he kind of realized he kind of needed to collect her up and do that. And so now he's done this. That looks pretty good. I'd really like to see him work this mare in frame like this more. Okay, this is pretty good right here. He's got some tools on this mare. He's got her going. He just needs to learn how to use these tools to his advantage. Okay. And again, I'd like to see him keep her in frame right there. So what's okay? So now. All right, so he's trotting a small circle again. In my rollback and spin video, I explain how to trot a small circle and bring it down smaller and smaller and smaller until the horse is spinning. And the reason for that is because a spin really is nothing more than the smallest circle a horse can possibly do. So if you start out in a circle and bring it down tighter and tighter and tighter, you can use your outside leg and your outside rein and bring it down tight enough until that horse plants that pivot foot and starts coming around in a spin. So I think that's what he's getting ready to do right here. Let's take a look. Yeah, he is. Here we go. He should be using some outside leg, outside rein. More outside leg right there. More rein. Okay. All right. So that's what he did. He tried to, she wasn't going tighter into that circle, coming down into a spin. So he pressed her with the outside spur, and she just kind of showed her resentment there and kind of kicked out at his spur there. Personally, I would have pulled her into the ground right there and stopped her, and I would have rolled my spur up her rib cage and say, hey, you need to move off that spur. For this to work, for a horse to learn how to spin, they need to move off your reins and move off your leg. And if they're not, you're not going to get anything done. So that's what he tried to do right there. It didn't go, I'm sure it didn't go exactly the way he planned. Okay, so he's back in the circle. And he's going to come down and try it again. Outside, okay, right here, he should have this outside leg close to the horse, toe turned out, and pressing her down into that circle, down into that spin. And he's got his outside leg kind of out away from her. Needs to be, he needs to have contact there. All right, so now he's going to come down again. Should press with that outside foot. Parts of it look good. Okay, now she's kicking her butt out. He should leave right now. He should leave right now, accelerate out of there, drive with that outside leg. And so, as he's driving out of there, side pass a little bit to the left. All right. Outside leg needs to be closer to the horse. He needs to be pressing more with the outside foot, and he's not doing that. Ooh. Okay, so right there, as he's leaving the spin, he's spinning to the left, and again, he left and let that mare bow her body out to the right. He needed to move it to the left.